All right, Reggie, it's been a couple of weeks since we've had you on, so I know we have a lot of topics to discuss. But before we get started, is there anything you wanted to speak on to our audience or to me?
Yeah, first of all, just wanted to wish the audience a happy holidays and Merry Christmas and Kwanzaa to my brothers. Y'all don't know about Kwanzaa that's out there. Y'all go and research it. It starts the day after Christmas, and it's something that a guy from Ron Karinga started. It's like a black holiday, like y'all got y'all Ramadans and all of that, and so our boy Ron Karinga came up with Kwanzaa. So happy Kwanzaa. Just a little history to throw out something to educate y'all so y'all can say y'all never heard that before. Now y'all have. Um, Hopefully y'all have a safe holidays. Be careful with that drinking and driving, youngsters, because this is a time of the year when a lot of people drink a little bit too much and tragic things happen to turn our lives or someone else's lives. So be careful with that. Uh, we still, of course, man, a great gift, and I think you still got time to get it. If you get it ordered in the next day or two, today is being Monday or Sunday. Um, let's see, about the 18th of December. So, if y'all get a chance, you still got enough time to get y'all that Death Row East t-shirt or sweat top for y'all loved ones. Because I'm telling you, this might be a little cheap gift, but a $30 t-shirt with from Death Row East, I'll tell you, you might get a hug for that because it's something unique. Or for some of you ballers out there, it'll be a nice stocking filler. So, yeah, we got something going on with Tubi. Where y'all can see y'all boy on y'all TV and y'all big screen and stuff. So if y'all can go up and support Bomb First and Reggie Wright and Suge Knight, just type those names in on Tubi TV. Y'all can see y'all boy do some seasons on Tubi. Y'all can check us out and help us support us for those of y'all that got love for us. Those of y'all don't, just like to hate on y'all boys, then check it out as well. And call Tubi up and tell them, get those niggas off of TV. They crooked. Do whatever y'all got to do. Haters gonna be haters. So I want to talk about Tubi, the Death Row East t-shirts. And, just again, thank you guys. Well, number one, wish y'all happy holidays. Hope I see y'all again. I don't think I might quite see y'all again before Happy New Year's 2023. But I know right at the first of the year, me and John will be coming back at y'all if we don't get something towards the 28th, 29th. But if we don't, y'all have a happy holidays, happy New Year's, happy 2023 as well. Shout out my boy Nutso. Great interview. I know y'all not viewing it like we thought y'all should because for whatever reason y'all like people that bring the drama and all of that. Y'all hate to hear the good positive people, but I get it. But shout out Nutso. He did a great gems for us and set the record straight on a few things. And so I appreciate that. I think that's it, John. I'm sure something else I missed. Just want to thank a lot of you guys, man. So a lot of you people out there that really shows us a lot of loyalty and support. And trust me, y'all know, I know who y'all are. I don't mention y'all names and tell y'all all the time the appreciation that we do have for y'all. Even the haters, even the people that be hating on Reg. I know this when I respond to y'all go, Reg, I'm just fucking with you. I'm just messing with you. So shout out to you guys too. It's all love. I'm gonna try to be like y'all boy Puff Daddy. Brother love for 2023. Can y'all boy Reg show love to people for 2023? Probably not. But I'm gonna try to be. So yeah, that's all I had, John, that I wanted to touch on.
Okay. The first thing I wanted to ask you about was over at Art of Dialogue's channel, he's interviewing Kurupt. I wanted to see if you've seen any of the segments and if you have any reaction to any of those segments.
To be honest, I only got a chance to watch about two of them so far. Two, maybe three. I think only two, to be honest. Um, I always told y'all, man, Kurupt keeps it 100 on all his interviews, in my opinion. Y'all know Kurupt probably got a little bad taste in his mouth regarding Reggie because I divulged something about him that probably should have stayed, kept quiet. But you ask me something, I'm going to tell it. I even tell my dirt. My bad. That's just how I am. Y'all don't like it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I tell y'all my opinion or what I heard or what I believe. That's just Reggie. I do the good and the bad. Other than that one specific incident, I would never say nothing bad about Kurupt. Y'all may say because I say he drinks, but is that bad? I mean, that's a vice. Shit, I got vices in my life. We all got a vice. So I'm not saying that. Y'all know the one incident that I'm talking about that Kurupt did that I don't like, but he was a 21, 22-year-old young man. Not saying that it was acceptable, but it happened. I'm not backtracking that. But other than that, Kurupt is a solid dude in my mind. Now, over there, on that channel, I did hear some things that I think he's a part of the conspiracy now, of the rewriting, because I know some of the things that he spitted out of his mouth is opinionated. I'm not going to call him a liar or saying he's lying, but it's not true.
What was the things that you said that you feel were not true?
Boy, I know I made a promise to you guys that I will never speak bad on Kurupt again. But you know, the things that Kurupt is saying over there that I don't agree with or believe is true is his opinion or his take about they were friends with Biggie and Bad Boys Records, and they made up with them. And they didn't have a problem with, or wasn't that disappointed or upset with them after they spoke and talked for shooting up the trailer. I think that's opinion of grown men, of guys that are now in their 50s in 2022. Or in the last 5 years. I know for a fact that wasn't their opinion in 1995, 1996. And you'll say, why? Well, how you know that, Rich? Well, isn't there a song with Kurupt and Das dissing Biggie and them after that incident happened in 96? Didn't Snoop Doggy Dogg diss Snoop? I'm sorry, Biggie? Called him a dead eye, fat, ugly, something like that in a song in 1996? How do young men at age 23, 24, 20 can forgive somebody that quick for shooting at them, trying to kill them in a trailer? It's just not true. It's just not true, y'all. Stuff like that, time heals. It takes time to heal incidents like that. I believe they believe that way now or feel that way now, but they didn't back in 1996. And I hate that they keep going on interviews and saying how they forgave them and how it was Pac who continued to keep the war going, and it wasn't them. Y'all say, oh, Reggie, you full of crap. Why you keep saying that? That ain't true. I'll just say, look at the House of Blues footage when Pac was on the stage talking about having sex with Faith Evans. all the things that he was saying. And Snoop over in the corner laughing. His big homeboy, who he has a lot of respect, Trey D, echoing in on it with the mic. Hollering, yeah, we different out here. We killers and gang banging and all of that. If they really felt the way they're trying to say in 2022, or in the last 5 years, because they've been speaking it for a minute, in 1996, why would they be doing that? Why? So that's my only dislike, that I like that they keep putting it on Tupac and not saying, yeah, we were feeling that way as well in 1996, but we since had a change of heart. Say that. Don't keep just blaming it on Tupac and saying Tupac was the reason. That was Tupac war. That was, we were cool with them. We were still down with them. No, y'all wasn't that way until niggas started dying and getting shot up and killed. Another thing. So yeah, I just have a problem that in the interview that I saw recently, where Kurupt, said that he heard the song and he immediately called Snoop, and Snoop told him, yeah, I like the song. And yeah, that song is fire. It's hot. Y'all better be on the lookout. Keep your head up. But then Snoop is lately saying on an interview that we have that as soon as he heard the song, he hated it. He didn't want no part of it. So that's all I'll be saying on the contradictions. And the only other misinformation that's out there is that Kurupt said, and I know he was at the House of Blues, I know Kurupt was sent home back to Philly during the month of August, right during that time, because of the thing that I said, that the one thing Kurupt messed up on. And he's trying to make it seem like Snoop called him and they had a meeting, and I don't believe that happened like that, because I don't believe Kurupt was in town when Pac got killed. But other than that, Kurupt keeps it 100 in interviews. And Kurupt is still one of my favorite persons as far as keeping it real on speaking on death row business. And so, yeah, that's my opinion on Kurupt. Another thing I would like to add is when speaking on Kurupt, and I put that out there about Kurupt, I don't say this, I don't just say this once. I won't piss a bunch of people off. But hey, I gave Kurupt a bad rap. I put him out there. Well, I'm keeping it real, y'all, like I always try to say I'll do. Other than Dr. Dre and Tupac, unless we believe what Desiree was insinuating, out of all the known people that y'all know on death row, he wasn't the only one sleeping with underage girls. Take it. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't going to comment on it. Y'all take that where y'all want to take it.
Okay. Were you able to see what Romeo said about Master P recently? And if so, did you have any reaction to that?
Yeah, I read that email. I read that. Was he talking about Master P? Or was he talking about his dad, y'all? I think so. I haven't heard anyone come out and say that, or Romeo come out and do a retraction and saying that he wasn't speaking on his dad, even though he left it kind of vague. Didn't know Romeo and Master P were having issues, if it's true. They obviously having issues behind maybe the death of Romeo's sister. Sisters and siblings sometimes trump our parents' feelings. We kind of take up for our siblings a little more than when our parents are tapping at it. I've been telling y'all about Master P. I like Master P. I think he's a cool dude. Master P been telling some lies. But y'all say, well, why you saying that? One of my favorite rappers from the South, who they like to call their Tupac, Soldier Slim. Why did he leave No Limit, y'all? Do y'all know the real why he left No Limit? He said some disrespectful things to Master P over the phone. But what caused him to say that or start feeling that way? Well, when you're locked up in prison and in jail and you feel people are leaving you to hang and leaving you hung out to dry, no matter what, if I'm recouped, unrecouped, or whatever, he fell out and left No Limit. Y'all can say whatever the fuck y'all want. Know this to be a fact. Because Master P, he asked Master P for about $10,000 or something like that to help his mom on a situation for losing her house. 10 G's. This is a guy that, he take care of all his artists. His artists is doing this, he's doing this for his artists, he did this, he did that. I mean, I would do that. I have seen Suge do that for people he doesn't really know. But this artist was in prison. Now, Master P have a thing with guys when they being knuckleheads. And you continue to be knuckleheads. And he don't want eyes on them. I get that. He even kind of did his brother C Murder like that. Is what he say. That would be his argument. But the dude fell out with him behind 10 G's. He just wanted him to shoot 10 G's to his mom to make sure she didn't lose her house. Because that's be your worries when you're in prison. Making sure your family is still okay. Not living like this, being able to buy gifts and all of that stuff for you. Just to pay the bills. That's all you care about. And that worries you, keep you up at night. And so Master P dropped the ball, in my opinion, on that with Soldier Slim. For what y'all want to give him the reputation of having. I hear Snoop say, man, I didn't have my own cars. I didn't have my own this and my own house and all of that until I got with P. Snoopy is a liar. You had a house in Toluca Lake. You had a house in Claremont, or Montclair, I forget, Claremont. You had a house, you was renting or leasing a spot on Wilshire. And you had an apartment building, and you know why and for who. That was being taken care of by Death Row. And several other cars. You had Bobby Earl, your limo driver from CLS that you took from them, that was driving you around in a Bentley. Not the Rolls Royce, not the double R that you had, not the Suburbans that you had, not the Mercedes that you had, and you know all the cars you had, but you're always saying how when you was with Death Row you didn't have these things, but Master P did these things. Why are you saying that? I don't know. Y'all say, well, because they wasn't in his name. Yeah, well, he still had the house in Claremont after he left Death Row. So y'all stop that. Y'all stop saying that. I don't know what happened to the house in Toluca Lake. to be honest. But I know Death Row never took possession of it. The spot on Wilshire, yeah, you had to move all of that. But Master P didn't take care of his artists like y'all want to give him credit. I remember Mia X and all of them were disappointed with him and all of that. See, Murder and them. He got the list. And so, like what he's trying to do, I think he's about to make a comeback. I think he's really about to make a comeback, getting in the food game, you know, with the cereal and selling his noodles and all of that. So I wish him the best with that because he do seem like a good brother. Just like I always tell you, I was like, you hating on them, Reg, you lost your $2 million house or this or this. No. But one thing I always tell you, I always tell y'all, it's all about family. And if you ain't spending time and having your family, right before this filming started, my 4 grandkids was just over here with my dad. 4 of my 6 grandkids. I talk to my kids daily. I deal with my grandkids. And if you got issues with your kids, y'all know what I put my dad through. Y'all see how me and my dad still interact. Our relationship is still good. That's what's most important after serving God, help, and then family. Or the 3 things you gotta have. Financial, that comes, it's in the top 5, but it ain't the top 3. And these guys that y'all be looking up to, they don't have 2 of those 3. And so stop saying that I'm hating on them or this because of that, because I don't hate on them because of that. Because in my mind, I'm spiritual and, well, I might be hating. I ain't that healthy. Y'all know my limbs are fucked up right now. But hey, they're a lot better than what they were 2 years ago. Y'all remember, y'all saw the picture of that nigga laying in the bed about a year ago, 2 years ago, in the hospital when the people that love Reds might have had a tear. The niggas that hate Reds had a big laugh. But look at me now. Ask your mama. Ask your woman. How that nigga right there look? Just talking shit. All right. Yep. Okay. So that's all I got to say about P. Because I generally do like P. Shout out to him and my boy Chico, Big Chico Brown. Like what y'all did in Compton after the Christmas parade over there. With giving out the cereal and nice gifts to the kids of Compton. I'm sure you did it in your town of New Orleans. And so shout out to P for doing that. But get stuff right with your son, Little Romeo, and get that stuff right, because he shouldn't be posting stuff like that on the internet about you, bro. For whatever reason. Get it right. Only opinion. He'll never hear it. But my boy Chico, somebody like that will hear it. My boy that I really like, starting to like. I don't know him personally, but interact with him a lot over social media. Big Court. Maybe he'll get word to him. But let's have him get it right. And tell us why Little Romeo posted that. Because you got a lot of people that look up to you too. And y'all don't need to be airing that out in public like that. Yep.
Okay. As you know, George Price, Papa G, passed away. When he did, I had posted a clip of an interview that was on the channel many years ago, way back. But in that interview, Papa G states that he's not sure why, but Suge didn't want to have anything to do with Nate Dogg. Nothing at all, and that he wasn't sure why. Do you know why there was the issue with Nate Dogg, and can you speak on that?
Yeah, there wasn't so much an issue with Nate Dogg personally. The issue with Nate Dogg is, as y'all know, there were CDs printed up and done and everything. We did a video. I coordinated, and I remember doing the video at the Grand Century Grand Central down there at the train station. You know where you go in for at the bus stop and all that for Never Leave Me Alone. We paid Death Row paid for that video, and so we were moving forward. I think this is like '98. So I'm in charge sometime in 98, 97, 98. But this is what the artists and we were trying to keep quiet. And most people didn't know. And why when Snoop said his check got cut off and all of that in like November of 98, because we was giving him $50,000 a month. And he said it didn't come out. The last one he got was like in October or November of 98. All that's true. All that's true, y'all. What they didn't know when we was trying to get worked out was Interscope had took a clause in Universal in our contract where Suge was getting $1.5 million a month, guaranteed, and everything to be paid for. So we got that all through from 96, because that particular deal didn't get executed until August of 1996. So we got it from 96, all of 97. But come mid-1998, Interscope was like, we don't want to do business with you. We can't do business with y'all no more. That's what Jimmy said. We can only do business with y'all on the Tupac stuff. We don't want Snoop, Nate, or any more albums. We don't want anything else to do with you guys. And so they cut us off sometime in 98. I forget the dates. It had to be around September, August of 1998. And so now we're not getting that $1.5 million again. So now me and Suge is stressing. I'm figuring out how we're going to take care of all these bills. And so we, down south, we went and got a deal with Priority. Brian Turner gave us a deal from $1.5 million guaranteed to $350,000. It's a drastic pay cut, y'all. A drastic pay cut. I know y'all be like, that's still a lot of money. Well, not for a business, not for a company. And so a lot of things started getting cut off, and people, that's when the cars had to start getting turned back in, and we had to, cut costs. And some decisions had to be made. And they didn't want, even though they gave us money to do the video and all of that for Nate Dogg, they didn't want to distribute the album. So during this time, Nate Dogg feeling like the album or the staff and everybody's like, what's going on? Why y'all not putting the album out? But we can't tell everybody what's going on. They didn't know the ins and outs in the business. They learned about it from Chuck Phillips in the LA Times, just like pretty much everybody else did. And what George Price didn't know, Papa G did know, is we had no way to put out Nate Dogg's album. The last album that was distributed by Interscope, other than a Tupac album, was actually Lady of Rage album. And that's kind of the reason why her album wasn't promoted and did as well as it should have been. That's why Das and Miss Chalet and Gridlock and Gang Related and all of that was distributed by who? Priority Records. And so Universal, I can't say Interscope, but Interscope and Universal are now partners. And Edgar Brofman didn't want to do any more business with Suge, and they took that clause to get out of the contract of him going to prison. And so, yeah. that's what happened. That's what Papa G didn't know, and that's the reason why the Nate Dogg album wasn't put out. Now, what we did, there was this guy out there, had this record company called Breakaway Records. And Nate Dogg was out there. Nate Dogg was still making his money and doing stuff because he was singing on everybody's hooks. That's when Nate Dogg was on it. He was the king of hooks, right? And Nate Dogg was like, okay. Nate Dogg got off his ass and went to work. Got out there in the streets and was riding around in his Escalade limo. Y'all remember that, y'all? Anybody that was around? Nate Dogg went and got out in the streets and started working. And was doing hooks on everybody. But now, you know me, Reggie and Suge, like, hey, Nate, you can't be doing that. We got paperwork on you. They was like, fuck y'all. I'm making my money. Y'all gonna have y'all little 50% publishing, but I'm gonna go, making my money. And so Suge was like, leave him alone. Let him do what he gotta do. But this guy named Dave Mystery from Breakaway Records came and started talking to us. And he wanted the rights to Nate Dogg, because it was like, you ain't putting Nate Dogg album out. And he was like, well, I already did this album on and Papa G over there working for him, and Keita Rock and all of them. I eventually started working with David Mystery. That's who helped me put out The Relatives in 2002 after he came and worked for me and running retail, and then he got back on his feet after Breakaway went down and opened up American Music, and he hired me after I broke away from Suge. Me and David Mystery still tight to this day. But anyway, he was like, what can I do to get Nate Dogg? I was like, I don't know, we got this money. He said, well, if you sell us this album that you already got done and that video, I'll make it a double. And that's why Nate Dogg album came out as a double CD, because they already had the album done. And then we sold them the album that we had did for Nate Dogg for $500,000. And Nate Dogg signed off to, we're not owing Nate Dogg any more money or any more publishing. That's why I always laugh when all these guys sold everything and then they put lawsuits into the bankruptcy court, but we didn't care. I was on bankruptcy. None of them still got paid from the bankruptcy, but that's what the deal with Nate Dogg was. And for those that really cared and want to know why Nate Dogg didn't come out on Death Row, even though that CD was already pressed up and we did a music video to it, that's the real reason what happened with Nate Dogg. And
okay. Nino Cappuccino did an interview on Real Tune TV, and he made some comments about the access that he had to Suge in regards specifically to when Suge was going to do the distribution thing with Irv Gotti and Jay Prince and all them. Did you see that interview, and do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I saw the interview. And John, hopefully you can play this. Play it so people know what you're talking about, because I know a lot of y'all don't watch that dude, Nino. He says my name when he says Reggie Wright dude. So I'll be like, that BJ Nino dude, which I ain't got no hard feelings against. Hey.
And the reason why I'm speaking on this and I'm able to speak on it is because I was there, bro. I was at the round table. I attended a few meetings with him personally. I flew out of state with him a couple of times. And during this time, this is what Simon Suge had came up with this idea, bro. Like, we need to cut out the middleman. We need to cut out these Jews, man, and cut them all the way out the mix to where we do our own distributing. We become our own distributor. We become our own manufacturer, our own promoters. And we doing everything as is, besides them putting up the money for promotion and distributing. Then we're carrying all the weight. We're doing most of the work. Then why not do it all? So he came up with this concept, Black Distributors. So being the fact that Death Row, Rap A Lot, Murder Inc., No Limit, I'm leaving out one. It was one more because it was five. Rockefeller. These were And Bad Boy was on the list, but it was exempt based on Simon and P. Diddy's situation and relations.
But if y'all believe everything Nino says, which y'all shouldn't, only thing y'all should believe what Nino talk about is from about 2005, 2006, whenever Suge had that little run, when they were calling themselves, I think it was Blackball Records or something like that, Blackball. When Suge was in bankruptcy, and he was trying to start a company called Blackball Records, 2005, 2006, when they were trying to film that, which I'm gonna get the footage too. I got the footage to that. I might be jeopardizing to get sued, but unfinished business. The stuff that he had, that footage, that Suge and they were shopping around and doing. That was 2005, I think, something like that. That's the only time Nino was around Suge. Other than the time he tried to say, which he's lying, y'all, keep telling y'all, the niggas that was in that bathroom with Suge, I done talked about 4 or 5 different niggas. He done tried to have niggas from the mob lying and come on YouTube and say, y'all know who he solicited to y'all. Oh, tell him that y'all was there. Nino wasn't there, y'all. It was just Green Eyes and Lil Rat. That was that, not Lil Rat. Lil Rat's the son, I guess, but Rat. It was the only 2 that was in the bathroom during that conversation. But he always wanted to put himself there because he liked to sound so tough. But let me tell y'all the real. And then he tried to say Reg wasn't around and he wasn't nobody in Keita Rock. That show you how much you know. Keita Rock was running Death Row. Oh my God. Keita Rock is my nigga. Love Keita Rock. But anybody that was around Death Row know Reg is the one that introduced Suge and Keita Rock to each other. And I didn't meet Keita Rock until the video shoot that we did for Das when Keita Rock was in that particular video. The California, only in California. That one? I can't name it. Y'all know I don't know the music. John, this is where you're supposed to tap in and tell me the name of that song.
You got it absolutely right. It was in California.
Only in California? Okay.
Yeah.
I met Keita Rock when we went to Oakland at the mall and was shooting that particular video. And started talking to Keita Rock, started loving that nigga. Love Keita Rock. And so, and his son. Shout out to his little son. That nigga was a gangster at 6 or 7. I remember when he was a little youngster. But I hear he's helping a lot and got something to do with Roddy Ricch now. So shout out to Lil Keita Rock. But anyway, I'm the one that brought Keita Rock around in like 98, 99 or whatever year that was. And got him and introduced him and told Suge who he was, and Suge was like, yeah, fuck with him, you know. You know, y'all be going stuff, he know those 60 dudes and all of that. And, you know, Keita Rock eventually got approved to go and see Suge, and he started going up there. He probably went up and visited Suge about 4 times while he was in prison. You know, when I take somebody up there. So, but BJ got it all wrong, as usual. Because he didn't know. He just sitting up there making up stuff. He said Simon did something in 2001, 2002. All right. By the time 2002, 2003, Puffy had sold most of his deal. His company was in a deal with Universal. Lil J was in a deal with Virgin. Murder Inc. was going, they were still riding high with Def Jam and Universal, with Ashanti and them. Suge was talking this Lucky 7. I always told y'all about a company called Lucky 7, back in like 95, 96. And he was talking about that black distribution there in 95, 96 with, I think it was Lil J. I remember we was at Texas at this football player that was from Houston that was playing for the New York Giants. I remember Snoop playing in the celebrity basketball game there. think his name was something Hampton or something like that. And I remember Suge and Lil J talking in the stands then about doing all of that. But y'all gotta remember, no timelines, y'all. Ain't no Jay-Z and Rockefeller doing good, 95, 96. Ain't no Irv Gotti and Murray Inc. doing good at that time. Bad Boys doing good. But shit, they just signed a fresh deal with Clyde Davis. About to get another $75 million, according to Dean Deal, with Clyde, from Clyde. And all of that, re-upping with them, right? So that shoots out 95, 96. 2000, 2001, everybody got a deal but Death Row. We just signed a deal. I had just signed a deal with Koch, with Koch Entertainment, later became E1 Entertainment. So we were kind of stuck, but Suge could have got out of that deal if he really wanted to, because it was mainly the catalog taking over there. But Irv wasn't going nowhere. He just that's in the prime of him. We still, Suge and Master P wasn't talking, because that's the time when Snoop over there doing what he's doing and all of that. And, well, Jay-Z and Rockefeller, they, who he say was the snitch and told it, but I don't know. I just know Nino wasn't around 2000. I'm just giving y'all timeline to show you brother wasn't around during that time. He came around 2005, 2006. So if the alleged meeting's supposed to happen, which I can't say because I wasn't around. I was at Breakaway. But we all know when, come on y'all. Y'all like Google. I'll let y'all go to Google. When did Rockefeller and Damon Dash and Jay-Z break away and Jay-Z left Def Jam to go be president of Def Jam, y'all? What was that? Oh, I don't know. 2004. Okay? So how could he be a part of that? When he just sold Rockefeller to Universal. So him and Damon Dash not even partners no more. They mad at each other. Damon Dash over there trying to buy Pro Kids or some shit. Worst investment of his life. Maybe he can go and sign Tyree and get that shoe back popping. That's what he need to do. Go get Kyrie a Pro Kid deal, and maybe y'all can sell some Kyrie Urbans. I don't know. Or maybe Yeezy. Go get Pro Kids, because that's where he put most of his money into. Go try to get that back popping. I don't know. But we know that can't be true. Master P was pretty much done, but he could have been a part of it. But I told y'all in 2007, Master P and Suge saw each other. We saw them at the Four Seasons. No niggas didn't even talk. He was over there sitting in the Four Seasons talking to Julian Bond. So I know they still ain't had no relationship. Murder Inc., they might have been, ready to be in the business, so I believe that. And Lil J. Those was the only three in talks about it. So him going and throwing J name in the interview, because J name is big, it's just all cap, y'all. J ain't went and told no feds on nothing. Bad Boys, if y'all don't know, I don't know what this deal is now, but he has sold for $8 million. That I remember being mad in like 2002, 2003. Like, how can Jimmy and them go Universal, go and give Puffy some money and be in deal with him knowing how Tupac felt? I remember that feeling. So I know Puffy wasn't in the position to be going making no deal. Man, Nino just talking. Got good views for that YouTube channel, so shout out to him. But I'm not going to let nobody just say shit because they figure Suge's in jail, and just to say stuff to keep themselves relevant that they done heard, know a little bit about, but don't know the whole stories. Y'all go check out people's deals and what they were tied up in, and y'all know that it's all cap, y'all. It was gone. Rockefeller, Jay-Z, and they were doing their own thing. They were broke up 2004. Nino wasn't around Suge until that for about 2 or 3 months. But my question to Nino and BJ is, nigga, if y'all don't learn anything from Scarface and Godfather movies and all of that, y'all learn this. Learn this from the tape. What do he tell y'all in the movie to do? What do he tell y'all to do? He said, I gotta kill the son. Oh, my son is retarded. He don't know nothing either. I gotta kill the son because they grow up and I'll be old. And then they come and kill me. Nigga, you need to be worrying about little rat, because the nigga is old enough and I hear he got a little street credibility. I know he's from Kitchen. I know he's from a Kurupt area. But trust me, I grew up in Kurupt area too. Now I grew up, and then I went to Paru area. And I got niggas in both Kurupt, PJ Watts, Grape Street, and all of that. That's cool with me, even though I grew up in the mob. They can still find you. That nigga's getting old enough. He gonna start wondering, if you heard all the alleged rumors or whatever, and you know all of this about what the mob or looters or Suge or one of them supposed to did to my daddy, why you go back and fuck with them in 2005 and 2006? Because you won't shine? You want some YouTube channel or some views or stuff? Or to be in a video? Why you go back and mess with him? That's what you need to be asking, nigga. Instead of going on thinking because you caught Alex Alonso in a fucking airport, how you gonna find niggas? Nobody's scared of you, Nino, BJ. Hitting your fist all up against the thing like that. Nobody can't do that. Nigga, nobody can't do that no more. Stop making your little threats to Reg. And stop lying on death row. Nigga, you ain't had nothing to do with death row. Y'all stop listening to that nigga about that. He want to talk about snitching on his homeboys and all of that, then y'all listen. Y'all listen to him. You know, y'all, you want to talk about how you PC up in the motherfucking in prison yard and stay and go in your cell, then y'all listen to him. But talking about death row business, he ain't got the right to be speaking on that. He don't know. He just talking. Just talking. Talking about he got beat up at Skateland USA by Eazy-E and Dr. Dre and them. Man, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Those was busters then, busters now. And you talking about they beat you up. Man, niggas lucky I'm crippled now.
Gene Deal is over on Art's channel, and he told a story about Bokeem and Tupac going into New York and buying powder or something like that. Did you see that? Did you see that clip? Do you know what he's talking about?
God damn, John. I told you, John. I told you. Stop making me tap at the Gene. Oh, man. I guess we ain't tapping at him. Y'all really say me and John be rehearsing these things, but I tell you, John be hitting me out of left field with questions, which I'm glad. Shit, that's what we need. Because I done lost my nigga Keepy D, and I ain't got nobody to argue with and go back and forth with. And I need some views because I spent too much money for Christmas. But anyway, it was a dog food, which is heroin. It wasn't powder cocaine or anything. But I heard the interview. I think people are running out of content. I told you I can do this all day, y'all. Y'all say Reggie run out of content. I can just go and respond and shit, and I can make content all day. My boy Gene, y'all, that's some made up shit, y'all. I always try to say these are my opinions. I can't speak on stuff I don't know about. I try to stay away from it. But knowing Pac, being around him, I'm not saying I was best friend. I'm not saying I'm Gaddafi, Fado, Felony, Noble, Edie, Napoleon, or Molly, or Kendrick, or Mopreme, or anybody like that, or even Suge Knight, Trayvon Lane, and Buntry. I'm not trying to say I was like that with them. I probably was more like Trayvon Lane and Buntry and them when it came to Pac, because as y'all saw from that video that John just recently put up. But if y'all saw that video, y'all see how we had cliquish. We had, everybody kept to themselves. But my point is, I just want y'all to go listen to this, and hopefully John can maybe put up some of that footage. If not, he can maybe tag it and link it to it, where Nate Dogg gave us one of my favorite interviews. And I said Nate Dogg, and I meant to say Joe Cool. Gave me one of my favorite live streams that we did, where Joe Cool said, why he always respected and loved about Tupac Shakur was how he pulled him to the side. And he said what he said about his mom being on drugs and how I'm here to help you get off of it. And just went into it about how he, hate being around that. And any of his friends, anybody that he know alike, he would do whatever he can to help him get off of drugs. And so after hearing that interview with Joe Cool, knowing how all I ever seen anybody around Pac do was marijuana, they smoked a lot of weed. They smoked weed. But nothing harder than that, and alcohol. I can't see Pac ever, and being all of that he went through with his family and his family, I'll just say that. His mother, he put it in a song, so that he would go with a friend to purchase drugs in Harlem that was more than just weed. I don't believe it. That ain't the Tupac I know. And from his teaching and preaching and all of that, don't see it, y'all. Don't see it. So I think that's one of those things that he did for views, y'all. Gonna get a response, I know. Hate to do it. Hate to say it. But I'll call a ball, strike, strike. And chips fall where they fall. I don't believe it. At all. At all. Yeah. Hate that he put out that information like that. Especially if you didn't see it firsthand. So yeah, that's what I call it on. Not the first they did the interview, just like John does. John put a mic in front of me, and he say, "Tell me your story. Mm-hmm. Tell me what you believe." And so I'm not putting it on the interview or the channel. I think that's something that the interviewee may have felt or wanted to put out in the universe because of their disdain for that particular artist, Tupac Shakur.
Okay. Can you tell me about what you witnessed yourself or what you heard at the time when stuff happened between Tupac and Faith Evans, Biggie's wife?
Whoa. I thought I touched on this before, but I will again. Faith Evans, it's obvious. Nobody knows what somebody really do when they're in the privacy of a hotel room and all that. Because I done had some niggas lie and say, I did this or I did that. And, we know the crackhead have made accusations and all of that. about sleeping with people's wives and sleeping with people. I never known Tupac to be a liar or somebody to paranoid a little maybe, but not a liar. And when he got on that stage and said what he said, from what I saw, I personally saw Faith and Pac in the studio in that a little room. Everybody know that little room in the back of Canal that was about the size of a closet, and they had a door to it and had a little couch in there. And when I walked in, I saw him pushing her head towards his private parts, his private area. I'm not saying I saw his private parts or his private area. I'm not saying that I saw her mouth on it. But generally, when a man pushing their head down there, the chick had their head real quick. I'll put it down there real nice and soft, right? If you ever got one of those before. And for those of y'all that swing the other way, when your male friend did that. But that's your business, though. But that's what I saw. That's what I observed. We got Danny Boy saying that she brought a lot of gifts up there to him, which females do for you when you getting out of jail and your homeboys. And that's one of the things you're supposed to do is show homage to that person. If y'all got any tact, ever know anything about people going to prison, everybody come home and bless them with some nice gifts. And so I believe that to happen. The idiot go and say, he asked Pac that night at the Athletic Hollywood Club, hey, that night I saw y'all leaving from the Century Club. Did you have sex with Faith that night? Okay. You don't do that. So that's not something that you go around asking your friend to talk about. But there's been countless of interviews with people that said that they done saw Faith with Tupac, from Drew down. I think my boy Big Syke did something about it. Myself. Don't know if any of the Outlaws ever speak on it because they hold things with Pac close to the chest, to the vest, which little homeboy's supposed to do. And so they represent him that well on that part. But Pac said it in his own words, y'all. He told y'all. And so, yeah, I honestly believe all of that had happened. And I know that's how females, some of them get down when they mad. We can see the way Faith get down now. You know, she married her son's godfather. That her and Biggie made one of their kids godparents. She messed with one of his top producers. There have been other guys she's been rumored to. It's unfortunate. I mean, all females have a past. Just like, you know, if you don't get them out of elementary or junior high school, they gonna have some history. So, but yeah, I believe, and I know in my heart, I don't know for a fact, but I believe that what Pac alleged to happen on the stage at the House of Blues happened, and there's nothing that can change that particular story or that belief. I have talked to a Faith, and them she was doing a reality video for E1, a lady that was an executive that did the reality shows for E1 that Faith was working on, and I'm doing some work with. And she had even exposed to her that Tupac put her head towards his private, and that's all that happened. And she has always maintained that she never had sex with him, to that lady. But that's the only time I ever heard of anyone saying that it didn't happen. the way Tupac had explained that it happened. But Biggie believed it. If y'all believe anything of the movie or the show that he put out, or that Puff and his mom was executive producers on, y'all saw how Biggie reacted to that, right? In that scene. And so when a man reacts that way, you tend to believe that it happened. And so, yeah. For anyone to deny it, was she supposed to deny it? Or is she supposed to be upset? I love Jada. Love Jada. Jada still, I believe her book, she's going to tell y'all. But Jada still to this day denies it. Never has admitted. But you see how she played Will like a puppet with it? Why do you think Will acts such a fool when he hear that name Tupac Shakur? Why? My boy who managed and got all the guys named Chaz Hayes from the Bay. Told y'all the story he told me. How they were in the studio doing a song with Be Legit. When Jada was sitting over there in the corner, and they were rushing to the airport on their way to Hawaii. Knowing what Jada said in her thing about sex is, knowing Tupac, and they went to Hawaii alone, and they didn't have sex. Come on, y'all. But what I'm saying that to say is I love how she keep that to the vest. She never acknowledge it. She just say we were good friends. Jasmine Guy, never heard her come out and speak on it like that. Madonna, we never heard her come out and speak on it. Ornell, broke as she got to be now. Let her come out and talk about it. Sally Richardson, she could talk about Snoop and Pop. Guess what? Y'all believe Miss Chalet, according to Daz. Thinking she came out and said it. But no, I'm saying all that to say, look how all these women keep that close to the vest. Yo-Yo. Y'all can't tell me most of y'all don't believe that Yo-Yo child is not our Pops. Which I know is not, because Yo-Yo is a smart lady. And Yo-Yo would have, guess who would be in charge of the estate? Who would be owning all these rights now if it was true? Yo-Yo child. So that's why I don't believe it's true. But look at how many of y'all in the comment section will say, damn, he might have a point. He might be right. So yeah. And that's just the celebrity females that I named. Look at all the randoms that we know about. Desiree came out and spoke on it, but she was drugged to say it. Drugged out to say it. And, the lady that's her attorney now, Keisha, if she came out and did an interview, will be a great interview. My boy Arthur Dialogue seemed to be getting people out of their shells. Maybe he can get Keisha. Wouldn't that be a great interview? Me and John going to try too, but I know she's an attorney, so attorneys are a little smarter. But yeah, I think Keisha will be a great interview, but they all keeping their stories to the vest. And so that's what I think Faith is doing it. Just keeping but the next one that I hear that I bet gonna come out, and the only reason she got this major book deal, well, it could be behind the slap too. But just think if Jada put that in the book, y'all. Just think of how many of y'all go and buy that. Shout out Jada and Will.
Speaking of the comment section, we put out the behind the scenes for the 2 Americans Most Wanted video. People commented and said that Tupac seemed out of place. Can you give your insight as to the dynamic of the groups in that video?
Well, I disagree with y'all on that. And y'all got to understand that we did have cliques in Death Row. Yes. The Pyrus and the Bloods generally hung out with each other, which would be the homeboy security. The Dog Pound and the Long Beach guys, they hung out in their cliques and their entourages. And then the Outlaws, of course, they were mainly Tupac Click and Big Sight and all of them. Bo Peep, they all pretty much hung out over there. Johnny J and them. Kendrick, Mo Preem and them. And then you had, what other clique you had in Death Row? Of course, Jewel and LaShelle and all of them. And, but those are the main cliques that y'all concerned about. And so that's why they were distant like that. It wasn't that they were being standards off or not listening to Pac. Pac, most of y'all don't know, was really a producer and a co-director on all his sets. The only other person that was like that, because they were used to taking order and directions like that, because that's how Dr. Dre was. Dre would be the same way that Pac was on that production set. That's how Dr. Dre was. That's how those two. So Snoop and the Dogg Pound guys are used to this being high, high as a motherfucker, and just sitting off waiting to go do what they do. Those motherfuckers were performers, actors. They were talented. They were the talent. Pac and Dre were different because they did both, but their calling were to be directors and productions and all of that. Pac was a 50-50 producer, or they was starting to be a 50-50 company with Tracy. You always say Gobi. It's really Tracy. Gobi was just Tracy's man at the time, and they had a relationship together. But that was really, Tracy was the one that had the relationship with Pac, not so much Gobi. But that was her go-to guy, because she was over there making sure all the union stuff was met, that the people were good on the set, and because, he had to deal with the white folks, because that's who was mainly behind the scenes. And they will stop work. If it's been past 10 hours or whatever and they ain't had lunch, they'd be like, they had somebody there that'd be like, hey, Tracy, we got a break right now. Our crew got to go eat. It's lunchtime. And if you've never been on a movie set, you got people like that. So that was mainly Tracy was doing. The AD is the one, the assistant director is the one that does all the talking. That's the person on the set that's getting everybody, doing all the yelling and all of that. The directors usually just sit back and kick back, and once everything is set up like he envisioned it and mapped it out to be, is what he goes or she goes and do on the set. But the producer or the production guy, which Pac was mainly doing production and directing on the set, that's why he was in mode. Like I said, Dr. Dre is the only other person that I've been around that worked like that as well. And that's what those two talent, other than rapping and acting, were their talents. And so y'all lay off of Snoop on that. Y'all know I'm always giving Snoop a hard time, but it wasn't that they were disconnected or wasn't feeling him or jealous or anything. That's just how they got down. If you look at Snoop at the MTV Music Awards, how he was just high and quiet and letting Pac talk. Snoop's different now. He's more vocal now, and he does a lot of talking and all of that. But I think that was something that he developed over years to be the person that he is currently.
It does seem like in that footage it did show just how hands-on Tupac was. And I don't know how Snoop was on his own videos. I know he did the Vapors music video. He directed that one. But it seemed like on Tour of America's Most Wanted, he was kind of just following the director or the creative mind behind it, which seemed to kind of be Tupac. Was that how Tupac was on most of his videos, if you saw him? Yes,
definitely. Other than the California Love one, but he had a little bit of input on that one because he the one that brought that to Dre, because him and Jado had worked and created that together. And so he had a lot of input on that particular video shoot, California Love. But to be honest, Snoop was used to taking the lead of Dr. Dre. And he, like I said, Dash just loved the camera. Dash was just always just high and just there and love to see how he can get in on a shot. Kurupt was always laid back. Usually had an alcohol bottle and drunk. Nate Dogg was kind of a talker, but he would, follow along, but he was just like the funny man. He was always like the big, not the big homeboy, because Snoop was their big homeboy. But I think Nate might have been a little older than Snoop. And so he was always like the strong, the smart guy among that crew. Big C Style and Trey D and all them, they had a lot of the gangster input. Just like our boy Goldie Heron and Big C Style, they did a lot of the consulting on that scene on Murder Was the Case, the beginning of that movie video. They both kind of wrote that and consulted and did a lot of consultation to Dre on how that video should go down, how dudes get shot, in front of a liquor store and how they act and all of that. So shout out Big C Style and rest in peace my boy Heron, because I know they had a lot of input on that particular video. But Dr. Dre, goddamn Dr. Dre and Tupac were genius when it came to productions and setting and creating and thinking. But so to be fair, for Snoop, Dre took a lot of the credit for Snoop's stuff. Tupac took a lot of credit for his own stuff. And then, as you said, later on when Dre and Pac was no longer with Death Row or no longer with us, then yeah, Snoop started growing into his own. I remember he the one that, you remember there was a sex scene that he did? I remember being there on that set, and he was directing and had a lot to do with, I think was it on the beginning of Midnight Love, where he did something with a female and all of that, where he was like having sex with a female?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was originally for, but I know you guys used it for the Head Doctor music video. But I don't know what it was originally for, to be honest.
Got you. But on video, I think it was doing the set for the Midnight Love, and or at least it was on that budget. And I remember Snoop being in charge and directing that with my boy Rob Johnson from Been There, Done That Productions. And so Philip Atwell was mainly Dre Boy, and he did a lot of stuff. But man, I'm telling y'all, Dre and Death Row broke a lot of y'all directors that y'all know now. I think Hype Williams' first video was, who's a big time producer and director now, was Little Ghetto Boys. That never came out, but that's a big video. So like I touched on Hype and Philip Atwell, another producer, a guy that's around. I remember Chris Robertson. Dre helped make and got him in the game, Big Chris. And so it was a lot of producers. Philip Atwell did a lot. And then I forgot the guy that did the name, and he's real big now. Billy, he's a little gay guy, but he's real big right now. Little white guy, little thin guy. But I broke him. Nah, I didn't break him. But I gave him one of his first shots on what? That Chronic 2000 intro video with Suge still in jail. I seen him. He directed a lot of those shows on with our boy on Empire and that show that came on after Empire, but Star and Billy, I can't think of his name, but anyway. So yeah, Death Row gave a lot of directors and production companies a big break, but that's what Tupac and Dre, as artists, they were tremendous with running their sets, and so yeah.
Did you see the statement that DJ Quik made when he said that he feels like he should be where Dre is? Do you agree, disagree? What are your thoughts on that?
Musically, hell yeah. Musically. Musically, I agree with DJ Quik on that statement. What DJ Quik failed to realize was, and I tell you, DJ Quik is not one for all that violence. Even though he get that bad rap for the El Rey Theater and that bullshit rap for being a spotter or something like that for Biggie Small. Other than those two bad raps that he unfortunately gets that are not true, I'm not up here saying that they are true. Quik is for peace and love and all of that. Even though he's talk all of that game banging and stuff like that on this song, he don't like the drama. He really, I remember him one time telling me, me and him was on our way home from Cabo. And he was like, Reggie, I'm tired of the bullshit. I didn't sign up for this. This is why I didn't come over here for all of this to be going around. I'm just here about my music and making music but what DJ Quik feels that he never had, or where he dropped the ball is because he had a guy from the UK. I don't know his name. I met with him before with Big Jake and Suge and Quik. We went to a meeting at Profile Records. I remember he was from the UK because he had flew in from the UK to meet with us in New York. Forget his name. Can't think of his name right now. But he was the owner of Profile, or he was the CEO of Profile Records. But Jimmy Iovine took care of Dre like a son. And that's what Quik failed to realize that he didn't have in his life. He had no disrespect to my boy Tony Lane or Shepherd Lane and people like that, Suge Knight in his life, and not a Jimmy Iovine. And yeah, that's why I feel that he's missing and that he doesn't realize why he's not in the position that Dr. Dre is in, if he's talking financially. But if he's talking musically, talent-wise, I'll call him 1A and 1B. I won't put Dre on top of Quik like I should. His track record is much better than Quik's. But I know Dre's limited talent because of the people that he is a closer, a finisher, where Quik, he had G1 that did a lot of work with him, but Quik had that knack for music and being a musician. And so yeah, he got to separate what he means by that. If he's just talking as a rapper / producer, or if he's just speaking about in life. Because that's what we tend to take everything about finances. Everybody but me, I guess, because I don't have much. But I look at the overall picture when people make those statements, because without God and help, what do finance really mean, y'all? I want to keep putting that in y'all youngsters' head. Don't strive for financial wealth. Strive for spiritual, health, and love of your family wealth over financial. Please, y'all. Y'all don't get anything from Reggie.
Do you feel like the reason Quik isn't where Dre is because some of the unfortunate stuff that happened in Quik's life? Like, I know when he first came out, he was known for really pushing the gang stuff, and then he had the incident with the car accident, and then he had the El Rey incident that you touched on. But thinking about it now, Dre had the incident that, with the girl, with him roughing up the girl, but that's been kept pretty pretty quiet, I think, other than Eazy-E. But do you feel like because of the other stuff outside of music, that may have affected Quick's chances because he wasn't so squeaky clean as Dre was?
Listen to this statement by Suge Knight.
I know when Dre came and had a conversation with me, he said, look, I want something more than anything in, possibly more than anything in the world. And I said, what's that? And he said he wanted to be white. I said, well, look, I ain't God. I can't make you white. I'm a manager and all things. I mean, you can make enough money and you can act white and you can live white, but I can't make you white. And he said, well, Jimmy told me that he can put me on a level where I don't have to cuss on my records and I can live that type of way. He said to Jimmy, and I was shocked. I was like, well, where all this come from?
That statement right there is the reason why I believe Dre was so successful, because he knew how to play it or be it or play his cards right. In this, as Tupac Shakur say, in this white man world, I think Dre got it. I think Dre understood, and I think he, after his few incidents, from slapping D. Barnes and the DUI and the alleged Mr. Lay stuff, after all of that, he woke up and said, got away from everything, left his record company behind, gave it all up and just say, I want to live this type of life. I don't want to be this type of life anymore. And I think from that point on is when he started striving towards those things that I spelled out that I think you need to have. The only knock I have on Dre is I hate how he don't know. But from all my hearings and teachings and talking of 3 of his kids that I spoke to very well, he don't show his natural born kids the love that he should as a father. Just 3 of them. I don't know all 8 or whatever. He don't seem to have that type of relationship with his family and not his family, with his kids. And I can say family. Look at his relationship with Warren G. This guy had hundreds of millions of dollars. Warren G lost his house, y'all. My brother, sister, mother, father, or anybody care how much I dislike you or whatever. I'm not going to be sitting with $1 million in the bank and let you lose your house. Not going to do it. And so that's my only knock I have on Dre is that. Other than that, God been shining on him, from what I know. But I got to take that back, because he could be unhappy. We always saying because somehow something look at that man that just killed himself the other day, working, had a great job, a job any of you guys in the music business would have wanted to have on your resume. He committed suicide, y'all. That's when you have, and that's why I'm always telling you, just because you have fame, power, money, if you're not happy, you don't have God in your life, stuff like that will tend to creep into you, and you'll do stupid stuff like that to yourself. You don't learn anything from Reggie. Learn these things, y'all, man. Listen to these things. Money ain't everything. Take care of that mental health. Take care of it, y'all. Get spiritual help. I ain't saying, you know, I believe I'm a Christian. Believe in God. I ain't trying to, I never sit over here and try to push that on y'all. I tell y'all my belief, but get something that make you go and say, okay. Do that. Don't just look up for money. Don't just judge people and say they doing this or they doing better than you because they got a lot of money. Look at all these people that had all that money with crypto. Look at some of those guys now. I ain't gonna start preaching.